Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah. I'm back for subhanallah, an ajib video, really ajib, subhanallah. I've actually been chatting to, Abu Ghaith, who's today, alhamdulillah, joining us on this call for a little while before we actually even started this recording. We were just catching up over the phone. But Abu, over Google Meet on the phone. But brother Abu Ghaith is a brother who joined the Muslim Certified Pay program a number of months ago. He's got a journey which is, something which is up and down, something you see, where it finally works out, where you feel really happy for the person specifically, because obviously Abu Ghaith is very busy. Allahumma barik, he's got a family. He's working. I'm not sure if I believe he's still also working and doing this on the side. So especially time management in situations like this is very key. And now obviously this month being the first good breakthrough month where he's made good income, where he can actually use that income to live in a Muslim country, live in the lands of the Muslims. This is really, it really made me happy, subhanallah. When actually, subhanallah, Abu Ghaith, when you sent me the stats of your this month, because it's the offer you're on looks like a really gold mine offer. The money you're making, the cash you're generating, the revenue you're bringing in for the company, the commission checks you've made this month. When I actually saw that, obviously I had two other members of obviously Muslim Certified next to me, because obviously we work in kind of a shared kind of space a lot of the time. The brothers of Muslim Certified, we're in one, a number of us are in one building in Sharjah, part of the management team, and they were really happy. Like I could see both of them were extremely happy. Salman saw it, and then Coach Salman, Coach Muhammad, both of them saw it, and they were very happy. Very, very, very happy. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, I could see the happiness, rough happiness. I won't over exaggerate it. Extremely happy, but the situation you're in, like a lot of people, they don't understand the quality of offers. A lot of people don't understand what it really takes, and that's why I want to discuss your journey A to Z to really do two things. Number one, to motivate anybody in the Muslim Certified Pay program, and number two, which is very important, to give a real insight on a journey to people who aren't in a remote setting, who are looking to get into the Muslim Certified Pay program, to actually get into appointment setting, because your story is that of which you're an appointment setter, and then you went to a closer position, you worked loads of roles. Your first role was a poor quality, then we had that sort of touch point when you're in the mentorship, or I gave you a call, sort of helped you out, and now you're at this point, and that's really through that everything is through the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the means you used, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that a means for you, and he's the one who truly guided you to this and gave you this, and granted you the success. So without me carrying on talking in this muqaddimah, in this introduction, I want to dive straight in to your story and right back when you joined. So before, because there's a lot of stuff to discuss, I want to guide this discussion quickly. So talk to me. So how did you come across the Muslim Certified program? I was actually present. I was not on the call where you got closed, but I was on the call where you were being admitted. I was somewhere in the background, probably Brother Muhammad was taking that call. How did you come across it? What inspired you to take the step into remote sales? And what was really your big why?
Bismillah. So yeah, everything started back in April. Was on my mind. So the way I've always been thinking is, always been doing different things in order to, advance and to actually use my potential in different skills I acquired throughout the time. That being, in the jobs that I had, different jobs that I had in the UK, and when I started, when I had my son, alhamdulillah, that was a turning point for me. Alhamdulillah, hafidhahullah wa faqah. That was a turning point for me that, I really need to step up. First of all, to be able to make hijrah, because at the end of the day, giving everything that you can to make sure your family is in the right place, have the right environment, have everything that they need and want, is something that is more important to me than my needs, is to that extent. So when I found out actually a few videos about, I actually done a lot of thorough investigation on you and the company even before I jumped on the call. So what I've done, you never heard this, but what I've done, I was watching a few videos. I watched you first, and then I spoke with one of the ustads in America. Remember Ustad Adib Salmi?
Oof,
We
yes.
actually we were speaking before I came across you. We were speaking about different things throughout my Instagram page. So when I've seen the video he uploaded with you, I said, "Assalamu alaikum, Ustad. I've seen just in this video. Just wanted to hear your honest opinion. But, is this really genuine? Because I wasn't expecting him to upload something like that." So yeah, he told me, I actually had a talk with the guys, reviewed everything, and it really seems something very, very good to learn as a kid, as well as the videos Ustad Abdulaziz Haqqan, Hafidhullah Ta'ala. That got me thinking to, there, of course, as you know, there are different programs out there, different people teaching this skill. However, it's not about the skill itself, is who is teaching and who's behind it. I felt more at ease with you guys for a number of reasons. That being one, that alhamdulillah, I've seen you guys upon Quran and Sunnah. I've seen you guys upon Salafiyah. نحسبكم الله خير والله حاسبه. فهمت؟
ولا نزكي على الله أحدا.
نعم صح. Sorry, one word from Darija slipped out. Fimti is actually.
Which will,
however, I said Fimti. However, in Darija, it was for both men and women.
Really?
Yes.
Ajib, you have
it's because it's in my natural language.
I spent some time in Maghrib, but anyway, subhanallah, subhanallah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in his book, هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. He is the one who is most knowing of those who have piety.
We judge by what's apparent.
Alhamdulillah.
So the apparent, from what I've seen, alhamdulillah, I've seen your YouTube videos, probably all of them, before even jumping on the call. I've seen a lot of things before deciding this is for me. So when I jumped on the call with Abu Mustafa,
actually, that was the setting call, right? Now, so for obviously Muslim Certified, just to clarify for the viewers, it's sold like a high-ticket product. It is a high-ticket product, right?
Yes.
It's an expensive mentorship. Expensive means quality, because obviously we're going to talk about the company from coming out of remote income into remote income, being able to build a remote income, and of course, the return on investment, right? Because that's
of course.
So, but just explaining to the viewers so they can understand, it's a high-ticket product. So an appointment setter is the first person who's going to reach out to anybody who applies. If you watch this video and you think, okay, I want to get into appointment setting through this mentorship, because it gives, obviously, we give training, calls, roles, all that kind of stuff, trying to get you from A to Z into the space. Obviously, we don't guarantee anything. We give you the skill set and the tools, which Abu Ghaith obviously got into this program, and now he's gone into this role, which is a business-to-business selling, first year appointment setter and then a closer. We're going to talk about that. But obviously, when you apply to this program, somebody's going to reach out to you as an appointment setter and book you onto a closing call, where the closer is going to then close you into the program. So Abu Mustafa in this case was the appointment setter who was talking to you, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So I applied through your website to get a call, and then I got a call, I think within a few hours, but I didn't pick up. I knew it was you.
Did you watch the first video on the website, like talking a little bit about appointment?
Yeah, I did watch it. Okay. So then, alhamdulillah, I applied, but I've done it on purpose. I didn't pick up the phone because after a few hours after I applied for the call, I didn't pick it up. I just wanted to see. I was testing to see how is your follow-up, to see how serious you guys actually take it. So I got I think 3 calls every single day, and emails, and then through the email I actually booked a call again.
Bro, you're probably a qualified leader, bro. They want to get you set on the appointment because the setters on commission, bro. That's how obviously setters.
Yeah, I know. But however, I just wanted to see actually what you guys do. So I just it was just a kind of a play. And then alhamdulillah, I got on the call with our brother Abu Mustafa, and then alhamdulillah, I got on the call with brother Muhammad a few days after, where he actually explained. We had a very thorough call where we talked about my history, about my my goals and so on and so forth. He actually explained everything about your company, and alhamdulillah, I knew that it is something that requires from me, right? Because at the end of the day, anything that you want to learn in life, akhi, it doesn't really come that easy. You want something, you need to work for it. And everyone knows that. And we live in an era where we see a lot of people being successful and we don't see the backstory of it. This is why
successful. Yeah, okay.
And that's why it can affect on our minds how we perceive that success. We think it comes easy because we don't see the backstory. However, the reality is that you want, especially in high ticket sales, something you really need to commit to learn the ins and outs of it, and don't be scared to fail. You know, I got, as you know, I got a lot of rejection and no's because that's how it is. You know, if it would have been easy, everyone would do it. If it would be easy, everyone would do it. However, this comes in your test as well. You're going to be tested in your deen because you need to upkeep your morals. The roles there that are not permissible, you're not going to apply for them. This comes different tests. But the biggest test is how you actually perceive and take on board what, you know, yourself as a founder of Muslim Certify and the coaches and everyone else inside the program is offering us, the people using it, how we take it on board. Are we going to take those tutorials, those, you know, coaching, those role plays, those feedback that you guys give us? The goals is like, you need to actually have a very insight into you as a person. What do you expect from you learning a skill like this? When you have a clear picture of it, you need to understand what is required from you to actually get to your goals. However, it doesn't necessarily happen overnight. As you know, and I know, there have been cases with brothers that landed really good roles in a quick spare of time. But it's not fair to use those examples and apply to each one of us, because everyone's story is different, everyone's journey is different.
You're basically telling people like, okay, with regard to the testimonials, so obviously even you're a testimonial, right? You're a success. Don't rush into something because of the testimonials, but understand there's hard work. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, 100%. It's hard work. Like, look, akhi, the learning, going through your program, alhamdulillah, your modules, straightforward as possible. I remember I used to make notes, bullet points. They were so simple to make, right? Alhamdulillah, you start learning all of those modules. It's time for you to actually put in practice.
So let's root back to specifically when you were going through the materials, right? You went through the classroom content, you thought it was clear, you thought everything was laid out correctly, everything like that. And then, just continue on from there, because you were talking about the classroom content.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I mean, it was quite straightforward. I think I finished in a couple of, so I got onboarded on Saturday. By Sunday night, I finished everything. And then I had my onboarding call on Monday with Abdurrahman, right? And then after I had my onboarding call, got as well the role playing, I think from Monday or Tuesday. I started to get a bit sense of the role plays. By the way, back then it wasn't everyday role plays with the coaches.
Yeah.
So it was
by the way,
just
now
people.
To give people a thing, there's bonus sessions running. Obviously, those are not like there are bonus sessions specifically being run by a certain member of the team.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different support methods. Obviously, Mikhail is speaking about, but you basically, just to make it clear for the viewers, because obviously, if anybody wants to get into the program, they can go to the link in the description. They're probably going to get a lot of information from obviously the rep. Specifically, probably they're going to speak to one of the representatives at the Muslim Certified, obviously my company, the training obviously that Mikhail got into, and whatever the training we're talking about here. But basically, you're going through the resources. You understood the resources. Then you got on you got that support call which you needed, and then you're going through more support call training.
So I was starting a networking straight away with the brothers within the community.
Beautiful.
I was seeing who's active. Alhamdulillah, brothers active. Like, it's crazy because there are brothers all around the world, and it's great. Alhamdulillah, I started role playing with the brothers, networking with the brothers that were already there for a while, experienced brothers as well as new brothers, and that's massive, because the thing is so crucial to actually, the role plays is where you actually put in practice what you learn.
Role plays, explain, because obviously, sorry to cut you off, Akhi Abu Ghaith. Sheikh, because people probably don't even know what role play is as
Oh,
well.
right. Okay.
People are obviously new as well. Role play is when somebody simulates a sales call. So they simulate a sales call, obviously, in a way where somebody plays a setter and then somebody plays a prospect, specifically for appointment setting, because obviously Muslim Certified, we teach appointment setting. But yeah, role plays are that. Yeah. So basically just the other thing. But you're role playing a lot. And then talk to me about how you got your first role, which actually didn't work out the best way you wanted. But let's talk about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, the first role that I got was a DM outbound, which is basically sending messages to prospects that are cold, they're not familiar with the product that you're selling. So you're outreaching to potential clients or leads that don't know what you're offering, and you just kind of start a conversation with them to present your company and the services that you offer. So that was my first one, which I got. Someone posted a message within the your program that is looking to hire setters for a new offer, starting off as a DM setting and whatnot. I got that. That was my first role. I think I got it like maybe 2 weeks after joining, and that was buzzing. Like I was on top, in cloud nine, thinking, "Wow, alhamdulillah, I got my first role." However, it's not necessarily it was by just my time, like you mentioned as well, was not suitable to do that because it does require a certain time to put on it, and it requires a lot of things, which in my position was not the best to actually go give full attention to. And I had to, tell the brother, sorry, Akhi, I need to, take off because I can't really, for X, Y, and reasons, I can't really dedicate myself to the role as much as I want. However, the product was great. They were just starting, Allahumma barik. So it was really good. However, it was not the right thing for me. And then I focused more again on role playing and my looms, getting good looms and applying to different roles. I wasn't getting any replies. And then for a while, I was kind of.
So basically, you left it. Sorry, just to understand,
Yeah.
you left the DM setting role due to time zone constraints and it just really not working out. Do you feel like there was also because it was also outbound, so it was a lot harder as well at the start, and the time wasn't there. And then basically, you took that step to leave, and then now you're talking about when you're getting into your second role, right? Which was like it was a phone setting role. It was outbound as well. It was for an AI agency.
Yeah, that's correct. So the time difference between that, I think it was around a month, or roughly around a couple of months between the first one and second one.
Wow.
What happened in between?
Really
yeah, I know what happened in between. Honestly, I was slacking, so I don't want to.
No, I think what you mentioned is you got burned out from the first one. You lost motivation, which a lot of people do.
It's true.
I'm thinking, and then basically, because Mikhail's lifestyle is not like a regular, like some sort of young guy. Sort of, you might be a young guy watching this. You might be married, and you might have a kid. He was working. I remember he was working a serious job or something like that.
I'm still am.
You still are. You still are the serious job. Got to just his child's also quite young. Hafidhahullah, and his family, and it's really easy to get lost in that flow, especially when you have to understand that you have a lot of as a young Muslim man, as the scholars, they even say you're a shab until you're 40, right? So as a young Muslim man who has a lot of whether you're married, not married, kid, but especially when you have a kid and you have a wife, it's very easy just to get lost in this wave of just wake up and doing the same things every day. And and especially if you're in the West and you've got goals of making hijrah, you haven't made hijrah, that's something which can be very dangerous because you're in an environment where your children can't grow up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And for Mikhail, that was a case where he had that sort of period where I see this a lot. People get into one role, it doesn't really work out, and then they just leave. And obviously, or they just they give up, etc. Realistically, the amount of people who have the privilege of working online are a small subset of people out of all the people, right? That's really how it is. So to be part of that small subset of all the people, you have to adopt a mindset where you have to be, in a lot of cases, you have to adopt this mindset that you have to put more work in than those people. You have to have a different type of mindset when it comes to relentlessness and discipline than those people. And you've got to be part of that top 3%, right? And I think, alhamdulillah, obviously now Mikhail's made multiple thousands of dollars just in the last sort of 30 days or whatever his calendar month in his role. He's making money where he can easily move to a Muslim country. Now it's about obviously stacking up his savings and taking that next pivot to actually being able to actually leave. And we're just actually talking about his plan, but to actually get to that point there are ups and downs. And the point is, hopefully you can take this away from Mikhail's story is when he got out of that first role, that was it. I would say that I wouldn't say I don't know what went on in Mikhail's personal life, so I can't judge that. But if I saw that from a business perspective, in terms of obviously the life of a sales rep, to have that much of a big gap between a role because the first one didn't work out, that's like a mistake in terms of appointment setting. So you went from the first one, so you took that sort of break. And that kind of
it wasn't necessarily a break. It was just I was focusing as well on doing more role plays and starting to apply to different roles. However, when I started to see I wasn't really getting any replies, I kind of as well stepped back. We're just focusing again to more role plays and kind of slowed down. And then I got the my second role, which was a B2B outbound, was actually calling. And alhamdulillah, that was really the offer itself. Like I didn't make any money of it. I stayed for I think nearly a month. But what was good with it, I was actually speaking with potential clients, and I was getting hung up within 5 seconds. But I was liking it because
that was cold outbound. By the way, did you land through the program?
Sorry, no, that was through networking.
Okay, through networking, obviously, which we teach at the program, etc.
Yeah.
It's also good. Because obviously we teach different role finding methods, which you can take away even when you're out of the program. For example, if somebody like leaves the program, etc., they have a skill set to go find roles themselves, which is really good. So that makes sense. So I remember on that role, I think that was the time where we had that discussion.
Because I asked you something, and then you actually called me and called me out for some things.
We had a long discussion, basically.
Yeah, we had a long discussion. Yeah.
And the thing about that role was there were no inbound leads. You weren't looking like you're making money. I just told you pivot out of that. Like leave that. That's what a lot of people don't understand, right? At Muslim Certified, we give people the skill set and the tools to be able to assess roles. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's true.
In your situation, what a lot of people do is they get one role, they're like, I'm going to get it done. In the first role, which you get, if you get it in 1-2 weeks, yes, most roles will qualify. Like you should take lower quality roles because we teach how to vet quality. But especially on that second role, I felt like, that role, somebody is for the second role, they shouldn't take a role like that. And secondly, I felt the money wasn't coming in. I told you to cut it off. At that time, you did cut it off because obviously you weren't achieving the goals you wanted to. And then after that, we're basically helping you shoot out looms to get to some of the bigger Muslim companies. So long story short, you left that role. Let's talk about how you got this third business to business role, and then talk about the specifics with regard to this. Because now this is the role where you made it a good amount of money. The doors are open. You're climbing up the ranks of the company. You went from a setter to a closer. You yourself, you've generated with setting and closing revenue, meaning the deals you've set and the deals you've closed, all the revenue adds up to more than you generate, roughly more around $50,000 for the company. And you've been able to take home, $4,000 in commission from different, obviously setting and closing somewhere around those numbers, etc. And obviously this is, very good for the brothers to understand, even, for the first proper role. Inshallah, brother Mikhail will be, inshallah, pacing closer to 10K, hopefully within the coming months. That's the plan for him. But this role, where did you find it? Let's start with that. How did the first interview go? And was it was a setting role to start with? What was the niche? Let's talk about that. So where do you find it first?
It was in the job board, posted on your school community.
Beautiful. Pay program, basically. Yeah.
Yes. And then I applied to it. And then the brother is actually a Muslim brother, just telling me, shoot me a loom. Sent a loom through Instagram and booked me for a group interview. Now, on the group interview, when he told me it's a group interview, I said, probably people that are going to jump on it are going to be more experienced. However, I said, let me just take it. You never know.
Who was that? Was that Muslim brother a recruiter?
Yeah, he's a recruiter, yeah.
Dude, by the way, I'm not going to mention specifically names here, but is that brother, he was working, I believe we brought him on. Is that brother we brought him on?
No, he's not in our community. He's a recruiter. But it doesn't have anything to do with.
We can name the agency specifically because there are different agencies.
I don't know what's his agency, to be honest.
Is it Nomadic?
No, I have no idea. It's something in Canada. I don't know the name.
What's the brother's name?
Yusuf?
Yusuf. Okay, no, I don't know. So those
No,
are
no, no.
recruiters somehow landed on our job board. By the way, we have one person of the Muslim certified team who goes through, looks at different Instagram stories, looks at different job sources, aggregates these jobs, and he was, that's actually one of the strong points of the program. Is we bring the opportunities to you as well,
Yeah,
so you can
yeah.
get that first, second, third role, as well as teaching you how to find your own opportunities as well. So, brother Mikhail, you got that role. You went to the group interview. What happened there?
Oh, in the group interview, when they started talking, everyone else there, they had more experience than me, except a couple of guys, right? And everyone had a lot of cash collected, like 100K, 50K, 150K, right? And then they started to asking different questions around the interview.
By the way, that's not
The
even that
recruiter
much.
was,
That's not even
yeah, but
like compared to you,
however,
it's a lot more than you, right? But the thing is,
exactly.
the beautiful thing is once you get into space 1 month, now you have like 50K cash collected, right? You have
Yeah,
60K cash,
exactly.
or whatever it is. So you can get to those marks bigger. So they weren't that experienced. And especially what this shows is somebody without experience who looks a lot more professional, who's ready to go the extra mile, who's energetic, who's the fit, he can actually make the role. So then
Exactly.
you got hired as a setter from that role, right?
Yeah. So I
For
got.
the interview.
So I think we were 8 in the group interview, and they went ahead with 3 of us.
Beautiful.
Right? I was one of them. Started as an SDR with a clear path to closing. SDR, then full-time cycle, then closer, right? That was a clear path from the moment I started. So I started going through the materials of the actual offer after I got onboarded.
Let's talk about the offer. Let's talk about the offer. We haven't mentioned. So the offer was a B2B offer where you connect, where you help basically companies. So B2B means business to business. So this offer, what it was it's a low and high ticket, which has price points where we'll mention not specifically because I don't want to specifically help people track the offer down. But they have one low ticket, which is a couple $100, somewhere a couple $100. They have a high ticket, which is a couple $1,000. The low ticket has a lot less things, and the high ticket is more like for bigger business for businesses which don't have the time. And what the offer is, it's businesses which need funding. So you guys help businesses connect with investors, and they pay you guys because you guys have a platform for that. So it's an offer which you're offering to businesses which need funding, and you started working as an appointment setter. So you were setting these businesses onto appointments with the closer, so you could close them to use your whatever platform, etc. Which which company was. So talk to me you started going through the materials, and then you started appointment setting.
Yeah, so then I started on a Sunday actually. So we got onboarded, I think, on Friday, Saturday, going through everything, got my account on GHL, which is the platform to track the leads and have CRM and so on. I had no idea, by the way, how to use it. They only told me this is how you log in and this is where you find the leads, start calling. And I started calling on Sunday, just going through. I had no idea what I was doing on regards to keeping the CRM, which is the way to track the leads, clean and leaving notes for the closer and so on and so forth, changing the stages. So all of these details I had no idea with. So I started calling on Sunday, and then the Monday.
CRM hygiene. So like usually people would call that CRM hygiene and stuff. And what a CRM is, for anybody who doesn't know, that's what in sales, that's what sort of a database of the potential leads, so the potential buyers for the high ticket product, obviously where the setter calls from, where he marks them for the closer. That's what all the sales reps, high ticket sales reps use when you're working at a company which is selling high ticket, which was, for example, this company. This company, by the way, the leads were coming from ads, right? They're running ads, so people would come to you from ads, and then what you do, you start calling and setting appointments. So off your set appointments, you're able to generate, what is that? The company was able to generate from your set appointments overall, was that roughly around $37,000, something like that?
Yeah, that's 35, something like that. Yeah.
$35,000. That's that's very nice numbers to start with. So they're able to generate $35,000. You made some commission off that. I don't know specifically how much commission you made. What were they offering? Like, okay, let's not specifically get into compensations, but they were offering some sort of percentages, etc. And then you got promoted to a closer. So let's talk about when you got promoted to a closer.
Yeah. So by the way, once they've seen my hungriness or actually learning and applying feedback, which is a huge for me, like going into this role and getting the support to actually upskill is tremendous. Like that was the biggest thing for me. Like imagine you start on a role where they actually coach you on real leads on how to become better and better. And not only that, you don't pay them; they actually pay you. That was for me the highest point in the space ever since I started, because this was real. This is something that now, like you mentioned, you can use and know, and whenever because the space is moving down the line a few months after, I can pass on. I can use now the skin in the game to use all of this that I learned. And that's, thanks, alhamdulillah, for for the company that's actually doing that. So once they've seen that within me, I started taking a few closing calls. So I was, taking closing calls on my own list that I was setting. So it's a full-time cycle.
So just to explain to everybody, you became a hybrid basically. So you became you were setting the deals and you were closing them yourself after being better for some time. Then you became a hybrid. Did you then just become a full closer, or are you still hybriding?
So I'm still hybriding. However, be moving from Monday, inshallah. I'll be on the main calendar as a full-time closer from Monday, inshallah. And alhamdulillah, it's even though you get a full-time closer on the calendar, that doesn't mean that I won't go through the new leads that are coming in and try to set them on my own.
Absolutely, you need to be so hungry as a closer,
Exactly. So
business.
Just to give another perspective of how things run, like, look, alhamdulillah, getting into appointment setting can be something that you can do on your part-time, can do 3-4 hours a day, max your KPIs, call it a day. For me, however, when I started, because I was, trying to absorb and learn as much as possible, I was doing 11 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day, because I wanted to take advantage as much as possible of the role.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Like I had no days off. For the month of July, I started in July, I had probably 1 day off.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah. And the thing is
that's when you're working the role, right?
Yeah, that's not necessarily you have to. However, this comes the separating a rep that wants to learn and take advantage once he's on to something that gives them that opportunity, and someone that just wants to, be happy with the minimum and call it a day. Either one, if that's fine with you, it's fine with you, Alhamdulillah.
Allahu Akbar. You transition to closing, then you proceed to close what? You said almost $19,000?
Yeah, 18,500. So, yeah, 1,900. Something like that.
And then basically at the end of the month, whatever your calendar month, whatever it was, you took home, whatever, I don't know specifically which date to which date, roughly around $4,000 as a sales rep. And obviously that's getting paid out to you. You need to get a payment today and then another payment soon, right? Off all of that, for example, revenue which you generated, which is almost $50,000, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
And now you're in a position where some of these goals you set out to reach, obviously, of now, potentially getting into a good position for, to inshallah, make hijrah and these things, Allahumma barik, these beautiful goals which you have, is coming closer, right? These things are coming closer now. Like the money you're making, you can comfortably live in a Gulf country, bro, with that kind of money, like easily. That's the thing. And it's just about now building up, and it really makes me happy. It really, subhanAllah, makes me so happy because it went from a vision now, and it's actually slowly going to, inshallah, become reality. Now it's just about, repurposing, restructuring the finances, getting the savings you need, all that kind of stuff, whatever responsibilities you need to have specifically. And then obviously, sorting stuff out with your family, and then slowly pivoting back. So, what's, inshallah, hopefully for the viewers to understand, obviously now, they've sort of seen your story of, the different roles you work, the issues which we face, which they can learn from when they get into obviously Muslim Certified, in terms of not getting demotivated, hitting it again, and, getting to that good role. What would you, and obviously this testimonial, this inspiration, really how you got that role and how you've been able to go from setting to closing, generate that kind of money, being able to, that kind of money, Allahumma barik. And then so now just to round it off with the viewers, what is now, inshallah, your next countries you would love to, inshallah, relocate to? I think you mentioned, I won't mention anything specifically, but I want to tell the viewers now, since you're started making remote money now. Also, you told me this company also, Allahumma barik, there's going to be a lot of leads again from Monday. Hopefully it's going to carry on. You're seeing your future here. And anyway, remote sales, because once you get a skill set, inshallah, it can just be rinsed. You've got this skill set now, inshallah, you can carry on making money with this, etc. remotely. You got this place at this company. You know, the CEOs bring you closures, bringing you higher up in the company. Maybe I don't know specifically what it is, but he's giving you more trust. And you got space at this company. Even if you don't have space at the company, now you've got a track record. You got cash collector.
Yeah.
You got stats. You've done it. Now you can go and work in a high ticket business. Now you've got a remote skill which you can, inshallah, utilize to generate you income. So what's the goals in terms of obviously making hijrah?
100%. I mean, that was the main goal, right? That still is the main goal, to potentially make hijrah and have that flexibility of eventually being anywhere you want. Just take the calls, do what you do best, and make money out of it. That's one of the benefits of actually working remote within the space, right? So inshallah, I mean, the plans are to keep on. I will keep on the I will stay in the company because the scalability is there of very good potential as well. I'm getting more and more knowledge on the actual product. And once you do that, you actually become better and better assets to the team, right? And eventually being better to pass that on when you're talking with a potential client, which gives you the massive difference between someone that just started yesterday on the offer and someone that's already have a few months of knowledge on the products. That makes the whole difference. So inshallah, in the few months, do plan, like you said, transition fully, because I'm still working. So inshallah, once I'll be able to leave my job completely and just focus on this, inshallah, just probably start traveling, go to Morocco for a few months, then potentially come and visit you as well in UAE. And inshallah, the dream.
There are many Gulf countries very nice, in terms of
Medina, UK, UAE. Saudi, Allahumma barik, it's amazing. But that's the main goal, akhi. Like, alhamdulillah, being as Muslims, any Muslim in the West country. I said that to Abu Mustafa in the first day when he talked to me and said, why do you want to make hijrah? Akhi, I believe corely, deep in my heart is rooted that any Muslim with iman and tawheed and knows the dangers of being surrounded by they don't want to say something to be bad again for you, so being surrounded by an environment that's affecting you directly or indirectly that you don't know, you never feel comfortable because it's not your place.
سبحان الله ما شفنا اليوم إنها لفرحة بارك الله فيكم إنه لفضل هذا فضل من الله بارك الله فيكم ونشكر الله عز وجل على نعمه we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his blessings. What we've seen today is very beautiful from brother Mikhail. Really just makes me happy, because this is what I mean by success in Muslims Edify. Allahumma barik, and thank you so much for sharing your story, akhi.
Barakallahu fikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.